Namaste, Jai Bharat. What really makes any society strong and coherent is the overall law and order situation of the society, which implies individual discipline on a final analysis. It boils down to disciplined individuals. I happen to come from the family of soldiers. I myself was a soldier once. And what my father used to say is discipline like a soldier. You must have discipline like a soldier. Then only you can make something go somewhere or reach somewhere in life. Which I find is very true, very correct. And from where the individual discipline comes, basically, it should come from the families to begin with, and it should also come from society. You see, the society's coherence is actually built upon the individuals, members of the society's disciplined life, and the individual discipline they borrow from society. Now, this is two-way relations. But apart from that, religion plays an important role in most societies. In fact, almost all societies, where the religion should also teach discipline, but not fear. There are many religions which teaches fear, and a discipline from fear is one thing, and discipline out of consciousness and awareness is a different thing. I am talking about the second type of discipline, that you are conscious of certain things as positive or as moral, or we in Bharat call it as dharma. So dharma concept is the disciplining concept of individuals in any Hindu society. Hindu would include all Bharatiya religious society, which also includes Christianity and Islam, because when the Sanskriti is where you belong to, then there are many dharmas. The religious aspect is only an aspect of faith. But apart from faith, there is something which is much more stronger and bigger than faith, which is the large umbrella of dharma, as we call it in Bharat, which is roughly, not properly, translated into English as righteousness. Now, righteousness, let us think about it as a set of qualities which one should have. Dharma is nothing but that. Dharma is also having a connotation of religion in translated into English, but that is not what I am going to talk about, or that's not what I am talking about. I am talking about the overall guiding principle in life. The overall guiding principle in life, let's call it as dharma. So long as dharma is intact, irrespective of faith system, you remain one coherent whole. Because the Hindu dharma in Bharat is normally used to multiple faiths. It's not necessary that you should practice your faith this way. It's not necessary that you should address this deity this way. It's nothing like that. It's open-ended. You can devise your own method and do it. There's no harm, and there's no objection to it. No one is going to tell you that you are doing wrong. Maybe there are people telling, but then that's not a serious thing. They speak from their own unknowledge of the rituals or the tradition or the knowledge system. So, finally, ultimately, when the individuals are disciplined, rather regulated through the self-imposed conscious awareness of righteousness, dharma, then the coherence has to be automatic of a society. Now, the problem with the societies which are turbulent, which are unstable, look at the governance of Bharat. Whatever one may say, think of, there is a consistency with the governance. No matter who sits at the realm and at the helm and govern, they have a common commitment to the nation, common commitment to many common things. Now, I'm speaking about, take the example of Pakistan. It's only just the other day they were separated from us, and they have focused only on their faith system, not on their Sanskriti aspect. Because the moment you focus only on faith system, then you will automatically find the Sanskriti of Bharati alien to them. Because their faith system, they totally want to adopt an imported a faith system which is actually alien to them. And the Sanskriti they consciously leave aside. There's no institution in the Pakistani society which can at least impart Sanskriti, though in spite of all those things, to a great extent, to some good amount of extent, great some good extent, they are still living in Bharati Sanskriti. They still have. Only thing they are not conscious about it, they are not aware of it, and when spoken this to them, they will be opposing it. Because they are only focusing on their version of a religion. Even they are unable, they also have their own version of religion which alienates the Pakistani society from their own religious existential situations elsewhere. So they find themselves fish out of water in an Islamic society and a non-Islamic society at the same time. Initially they think Islamic society they become one with them, but they can't become one with them because they follow their own version of Islam. Now, I say this because look at Pakistani society, the problem is there is no law and order. This you don't need a demonstration, you can just find out. There's hardly any law and order. Someone says something and something goes on. Someone says something in someone's name or something's name and something goes on. There's nothing beyond. There's nothing like logic beyond or reason beyond this. What is happening now? Iran. I started saying about this basing on Iran situation. Iran, there are a great lot of people. There are a great lot of people. The Asian Persians. If you know, or if you recall, the Farsi language, which we call as Persian, is that language which translated most positive, important classical books from all languages into Farsi. They have translated many texts from Sanskrit to Farsi. And translation means this knowledge is instantly becoming available to them. And don't you think those things will make impact in their living society, existence, or even existential situations? It does make impact. So they perhaps I could say they are one of the most civilized people in this region. They had rather everything with them. Now with the Islamization, they were forced to make U-turn, and it's not the people in general or all people who want this, but it's some who want to be in power, authority. People want to be in power and authority, just like that. And if you look for the reasons, there are all kinds of reasons. So just for this, a civilization is destroyed, a society is destroyed, and they over and above, they claim that that's the right kind of rule one has to be under. That's the right kind of thing, whatever they do. They will take sanction from their religion, they will take sanction from some religious codes of conduct, etc., etc., and they will say this is the right thing. And this apart, they always have these two sticks in their hand. One is the promises of reward after death in heaven, and number two, a threat of being punished after death in hell. Now these two spheres are with them. Both spheres are used for the same purpose of pushing people to desired corners. Iran. Now look at Israel. See the size of Israel. It's a small nation. people, few in number, but they have this great quality of discipline. They're very disciplined lot. They're very disciplined lot, and they're the most coherent kind of society. Over and above, they have knowledge, they have innovation, they have intellectual infrastructure, and they are greatly creative people. If Iran goes for a conflict with Israel, in the real sense of the term conflict, not just show conflict and then keeping quiet, that's what they're doing now, then it doesn't take any time for Iran to cease to exist. Preferably, if Israel uses this chance to topple the current regime of Iran, then I'm sure the people of Iran will ever be grateful to Israel for giving them a breather of freedom. They will flourish, they will grow, they will be one with the other world. They are not small people, they are great people. The Persians are not small people, they are great people. They have their own history and civilization. But really think, all those things were under the parda, They can't expose themselves. And you know the stories when someone was removing parda or not obeying to the parda rule, what happened to those small girls? Not really women in that sense, but girls, young girls. What happened to them is known to you. Similar is the situation in many Muslim nations of this part. This happens most to the converted Muslims. But from where Islam has originated, those people like Saudi Arabia or other Gulf countries, they have progressed, developed, and they found a method of adjusting between the religion and the modernity. They are striking balances between religion and modernity. They are modern, they live modern without compromising on the religious faith. They are very successful. But that's not so with the many converted Islamic nations. There is no compromise actually. They compromise everything for the sake of their faith system. And they are convinced that what they do is right. What they're doing is right. Now these are the difficulties and problems where society is taken back in time. And the generation which is born are born in a bad time. All the progresses made by the ancestors become null and void. Who benefit from this? Some who have or assume authority using the faith system of the general people. This is a funny situation more than an appalling situation. It's actually funny that why no one is bailing this cat, why it's still going on. It's a funny thing. Interesting also. Let's hope things will become normal. Let's hope the people will live free. Let's hope that people will have lesser coercions on them in time to come through this conflict. Maybe this conflict may be a catalyst to progress of many states. Let's hope for this, and then we'll meet again with some other thoughts. Till then, Namaste, Jai Bharat and Jai Sri Ram.